Well, it has not been a super busy offseason for Montreal Canadiens GM Kent Hughes. The big move, of course, locking up 2022 first overall Juraj Slafkovský to that 8-year deal worth just over $60 million. They also drafted Ivan Demidov 5th overall, and Celine Dion did the announcement. That was cool. They also dealt defenseman Jonathan Kovacevic to the New Jersey Devils. And that leads us to another exciting edition of Le Monde de Lalonde with our Montreal Canadiens reporter extraordinaire, Kenzie Lalonde. Kenzie, first of all, how are you? How's your summer going so far?
Summer's been good, Jay. It's been busy back on the CFL beat. The Alouettes are 5-0, so they're on a bit of a run here. So it's been a lot of winning this summer in the first few weeks here, some football.
I love it, and happy for Cody Fajardo, my guy. Habs GM Kent Hughes. He wanted to be aggressive when free agency opened July the 1st. He didn't land a big fish, but I think for the fan base, locking up 2022 first overall Juraj Slafkovský to that 8-year deal probably feels pretty good. Were you surprised at all, Kenzie, that Hughes was that aggressive and locked up Slafkovský this early after what was in many ways a breakout second season?
I think it was a great move for Kent Hughes and the Montreal Canadiens. They're looking at those discussions of more of a 6 to 7 year deal, but much to Kent Hughes' liking, it ended up being 8 years at 7.6 AAV. So that's great. And in large part, as you said, to that huge second season for him, 50 points, a huge milestone. And he also became the first Montreal Canadian to put up 40 points before turning the age of 20. So a huge bucket list accomplishment for him as well. But there's two main reasons why this is a big win. Because he comes in at 7.6 AAV, that is under Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki. So Nick Suzuki remains the highest paid player here for the Montreal Canadiens. So that means Kent Hughes has Slafkovsky, has Caulfield, and has Nick Suzuki all together for potentially 6 straight seasons up until Nick Suzuki's offers up at the 2029-2030 season. So, I mean, it's too early to say they're in that Crosby, Letang, Malkin era of like a dynamic trio, but it's pretty exciting to see their commitment to the organization and the excitement ahead. And it also gives Kent Hughes great flexibility when this Montreal Canadiens team does become a little bit more competitive in 4 or 5 years' time. This means he'll have these 3 guys under $8 million a year, and it just gives them more flexibility to bring in some big firepower when they want to make a push ahead. And then again, just looking ahead to some more deals he'll need to get done, it raises the question of Caden Gooley and where are they at with those negotiations and locking him up for some significant time, because there's another great young player that made himself a great addition to this group and has, I still think we can see more from him. So, they'll want to get a deal done with him sooner than later.
Prince Albert Raiders legend Caden Gooley. And another defenseman, Jonathan Kovacevic, dealt to the Devils on June the 30th, right before free agency. So that opens up a spot on the blue line. And, in addition to Gooley, Kenzie, you know better than anyone that this team has a lot of young talent on the blue line. Who do you see grabbing that spot that Kovacevic vacates?
Yeah, it's so exciting. So there's a log jam here for the Montreal Canadiens. It's all we talk about on the blue line, these exciting young players coming to a head. And so there'll be some juggling this season for Kent Hughes and how he goes about it. He has sent qualifying offers to Justin Barron and Arbor Xhekaj. So this will be interesting to follow, because to send those guys down, well, they'll need to clear waivers. So will Kent Hughes want to jeopardize that? Arbor Xhekaj, who has become a fan favorite. And then you look at Justin Barron, who is that right shot defender. And they lost that in trading away Jonathan Kovacevic. Barron's also been around for the longest when you think of his caliber of play. When we look at these bright young defenders, he's still looking for the consistency in his game. But that is very much Justin Barron's spot. But he has competition coming, and that's Logan Mailloux, who is right there, had a dominant first year in the Laval Rockets system. He put up 47 points, set a franchise record for the most ever goals in a rookie year by a defender. He put up 14 last year. He finished 3rd overall in the AHL for scoring by defenders. So he's going to make it difficult for Kent Hughes. Now, the thing with Logan Mailloux is that he's still on that entry-level contract. There's that flexibility to keep him down and call him up when they think he's ready, but he'll be knocking on the door. He'll be looking for that spot on the right side, and he's got the size. He's 6'3". So there's a lot of talent here for the Montreal Canadiens on the blue line. And as we continue to follow how they manage the rotation for the starting six is going to be fun.
In your opinion, Kenzie, what is the likelihood of GM Kent Hughes continuing to add to this roster before the start of the regular season?
Yeah, so I think we know it's a possibility. We go back to free agency, and we heard Jonathan Marchessault saying the Canadiens were in the rotation for him to sign with. The only issue there was the terms. So Marchessault ended up signing 5 years with the Nashville Predators. So it goes to show the Canadiens aren't quite comfortable with maybe a 5 year length of contract, more in that short term, 2 to 3 years. But a top six forward, they want to make that advancement. If they do go out, get that free agent on a short term deal, they want to make sure he will add to them and make it better. So we'll continue to watch this top six and how they go about it. There's certainly a spot there to play big minutes. It'll be great to see a healthy Kirby Dach back in the lineup and Alex Newhook there as well. If we look at that second line, who will round out on the winger? Will Josh Anderson get back to his scoring touch and fill in there? Or will they continue to look around, shop, and if they find a deal that makes sense, make it happen? And they had the assets to make it possible. They've got these bright young defenders on the blue line and likely two first-round picks next year in the 2025 NHL draft. So they have the assets to make the moves. It's just finding the right fit.